From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Good morning and welcome to your statewide edition of Montana This Morning on this Monday, November 4th. I'm Augusta McDonnell here with Miller Robson.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Augusta.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. We hope you had a great weekend, and we might have some winter conditions finally heading
Absolutely. Maybe a strong blizzard heading in some spots, especially up and down the Rocky Mountain front. We may see our first flakes of the season around Billings area, lower elevations. So, yeah, we do have a cold front that's going to be making its way through tonight. And that's going to bring some temperatures, cooler temperatures, but the main concern will be that snow that is heading especially in the mountains where we could see a hefty amount of snow. So we're going to break it all down for you coming up. It's a chilly start out there right now with temperatures mainly in the 30s, even some 20s across the region this morning with the wind chill factors out there. Some of us feeling a good 5 to 10 degrees cooler than what it is. And there you go. That's just that's what we call a winter storm gumbo. There's just a little bit of everything thrown into the pot there. We're going to try to break it all down for you when we do the main forecast coming up in just a bit. For the most part today, most of us looking pretty good, and then comes the whammy, and we'll talk about that whammy with the main forecast just around the corner.
All right, lots to keep an eye on. Thanks so much, Miller. And our top story today is out of Helena. The Helena Police Department is investigating an officer-involved shooting at the Jester's Bar Saturday night. Police received a report about a male refusing to leave the establishment's bathroom. Though they were eventually able to get the man out, he returned later, once again barricading himself in the bathroom. Upon refusing to leave a second time, the man wielded a knife against officers who used tasers to subdue him. During efforts to restrain the individual, an officer was stabbed. Police say that's when the man was shot and shortly afterward pronounced dead on scene. The injured officer is reported to be in stable condition. Helena police said the officers have been placed on administrative leave per department policy while this investigation continues. And we're just a day until Election Day, and political canvassers are in the home stretch. For many, it's the passion for politics that keeps them going. Our Marcus Kokova found out why one local canvasser in Billings keeps coming back every election year.
Most people will likely say they already know who they're going to be voting for. But how much have most people actually learned about all the options on their ballot? A quick search of what's known as the dead internet theory, or even just the concept of social bubbles, will seat you with the idea that the majority surround themselves with like-minded individuals, a function that's worsened by the algorithms of life online.
I have grown to love Billings, and part of loving Billings is helping my community, and this is one way to help.
That's where an in-person visit from someone like Elizabeth Claridge comes in to try to fracture the echo chamber.
I'd say the greater percentage of people that answer their doors to me are very kind. And for that, I'm grateful.
She's been canvassing for candidates of various political parties since 1980, when her husband was running for a school board election.
I started taking classes in history and government and civics so that I had a better understanding of democracy and government and a better understanding of how it actually is a verb.
With a maximum of 50 doors a day, she says she's seen a few signs this year that keep her at bay.
I don't take it personal or think much of it. There have been some creative ways of just saying stay away.
Some of these signs are not so polite, but when it comes to people,
I look for kindness in their eyes. If I don't see it, I look deeper.
She says a bad attitude shouldn't keep folks from sharing opposing points of view. It's a difference of opinion that makes democracy great.
It doesn't matter who you are or what your job is or how much money you make, how powerful you are. Everyone's vote counts the same.
Marcus Kokova, MTN News.
Marcus, thanks so much. The countdown to Election Day is on, with candidates finishing up their final pitches to voters. One of the most watched races, Montana's Senate race between Republican challenger Tim Sheehy and incumbent Democrat Jon Tester. The battle has been close throughout, with one of the most discussed issues being Sheehy's gunshot wound and how exactly he received it. And now that story is changing. The businessman originally said he was shot during friendly fire overseas during his Navy SEAL career. However, Glacier Park Ranger Kim Peach said in 2015 Sheehy was instead cited for discharging a firearm in the park, and that was the reason for the wound. Sheehy even had a handwritten statement admitting an improperly stored gun fell and discharged into his arm. However, in an interview with national conservative talk show host Megyn Kelly, he claims again it happened during friendly fire, likely because of foreign forces that the U.S. military was helping in Afghanistan. Sheehy did not provide any details about when or where the incident happened, leaving Kelly commenting so confusing. When asked to clarify, Sheehy still did not provide any specific information, only saying there's no record for fear of being sent back. And also on the campaign trail, unwelcome news for people looking to buy a home as mortgage rates ticked up for the 5th straight week. That fact, as well as this being a presidential election year, as many buyers waiting to make a big purchase. Thomas Hoppo looks into those results and how they could play a part in the market.
Every election year, there is talks about how it will affect the housing market. So we decided to take a look at the historical impact. An analysis from Bankrate shows home prices have climbed an average 4.8% in election years dating back to 1987. In non-election years, the numbers are pretty similar. Home prices climbed an average of 4.4%. The worst year for the housing market was 2008, but Bankrate found that had little to do with the election and more to do with the historic housing bubble burst and the global economy collapsing. 2004 was one of the best years for the housing market, but that's when the housing bubble was inflating. It didn't have much to do with George W. Bush's re-election. Bankrate reports that this seems more like coincidence than a blueprint for housing trends, but there's no denying the election has an impact on the mindset of homebuyers.
People really get that kind of deer in the headlights mode about them, where they just want to wait and see.
A recent survey from Redfin finds 23% of buyers looking to purchase their first home are waiting until after the election.
On the Harris campaign website, you can go to Chapter 7, and there are extremely detailed plans on the $25,000 down payment assistance, putting policy into place to make it easier for developers to build. And Donald Trump talks a lot about immigration, but doesn't seem to have many policies laid out on his website. But one place where they both do kind of agree is easing up on zoning laws and using federal land to build housing.
While the uncertainty of housing policies may have some people waiting to buy a home, the majority cite other factors. 30% of people say they want to save more money first. Another 28% say they're waiting because that's just the timing that works better for their family. Others are waiting for the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates. Thomas Hoppo, Scripps News.